What's going on, guys? We're going to be doing a Gears of War 5 review for story-wise. Now, if you guys have not played the game, I do recommend you guys go buy the game, go rent it, do something, so you guys can go enjoy the game. First off, let me say this game was magnificent. First off, if you guys do not want to be spoiled as well, so you guys have been warned. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into Gears of War 5 story. Now, it does pick off not that long after the events of Gears 4, and we see the Delta Squad go into a facility trying to gather information on the Hammer of Dawn, so the Hammer of Dawn can be used once again to go up against the enemy instead of the Locust. They're going to be using it against a Swarm. It is very unstable, so they need to get more parts, more satellites up in space so they can use them and have coordinates as well as data so they can be used. Now, it does get shown that Jin is against this, and we also get to find out some new information that we did not get to see. That once this happens, we get to meet, of course, a couple new characters. We also get to see a little more information about the possibility of how Anya died. We got to see a picture in Jin's office. Jin and Marcus were having an argument. We get to see him basically take a lot out on her for the fertility program. Now, there is two theories I do have, that she died while trying to have another child, and then or she died, I want to say some years after she had JD, because in the trailer, that of course you did see Anya with Marcus and JD when he was a little boy. I want to say maybe when he was like 4 or 5 years old. Now, again, she could have had something in her system, and she could have died after the effects. That those are just two possibilities, because he does blame Jen for the fertility program as well as her, the disrespect that apparently that she has given Anya, and he takes that very highly, as any grieving husband would. We also get to see another character come back by Carmine. He comes back, and we get to see Carmine's niece appear, and she dies, unfortunately, with a Hammer Dawn strike, which JD does tell Baird to strike on, and a Locust attack on Settlement 2, which we do get to see more about Settlement 2, where JD was in command of DBs as well as of Dale and another character named Foz, and they opened fire on a civilian protest, which is why Dell had a problem with it. So JD, he regrets doing it. He kept it from them. And then once the accident happens with JD, he gets severely burned on his right arm. He also has a scar like his father, sort of, and then he shaves his head bald, he grows a beard. He also gets promoted to captain, and he becomes very much more of a hard ass. And then they are told to start gathering people from outcast posts to get them into New Ephyra, so that way they can gather more of an army and go up against the Swarm. Now, they go to one outcast settlement that is led by Kate's uncle, and we get to see where Oscar does die, and then Kate needs to go out and set forth to find out what is her connection to Queen Mira, what is the connection with her grandmother. So even though everybody's against this, Marcus does encourage her to go, but she goes with Dell, and they find out more information when they go to the lab where Niles is, where Marcus tells them to go. So you go through this journey of trying to go through everything. We're trying to find the lab, and you do see the sires, and you find out that Mira had Reyna there. You get to know that, of course, that the sires became locusts. That is what Niles created, and they just started producing more and more after Mira was connected to a very big locust, which had the ability to use mental abilities to control the other locusts, which was what Mira had to use her power. And then we had got to see where Mira, I guess, got with a scientist, and they had Reyna, and he did not want her in that, so he escaped with Reyna. And then once Niles told her that Reyna was dead in, I guess, one of the uprisings, that is what caused another uprising and everybody to be killed and Mira to escape. And that's why he states that he thought that it was going to be taken care of, but it was not. That's what caused it, and that is her connection to the locust as well as a swarm. And so Kate wants to sever her link between the swarm as well as the Queen Mira and what was left of her mother. And so she does, but unfortunately that was part of Niles' plan to wake up what is left of her mother, which is now taken over by the swarm, aka the locust. And they do get rid of Niles as well as kill the original source of the locust that was able to use mind control. and then they finally escape. They tell the squad about it. You do go see all their old characters in the game, and you see JD. He does have a change of heart. He decides to help Kate. They finally explain that this is what they need to do. They need to get the rest of the hammer uh, parts so that way they can put them up in space and then be able to go up against the Swarm Horde, and then be able to finally take the fight to the Swarm and finally be able to hopefully get them and stop this war from breaking out even worse, since the Swarm takes over a human host and then becomes a drone later on after it becomes a juvie. So once that does take place, they go back into the city, and then once that happens, the Swarm unleashes a massive attack using a ringworm, which is sort of paid a little bit of homage to the second one, so there was a lot of homage to that. This one really did make me feel like it was the second one to Gears 2. Then you do get to see more between Kate, Dell, Marcus. There was some more time with Baird and Cole and Marcus of the original Delta Squad, which I was very happy to see. It kind of felt like Marcus maybe had about the same screen time as he did last time. Baird and Cole had about a little bit more this time, which of course they were absolutely amazing. And we also get to see something which, guys, this is major spoilers right here since we've been talking about it. At the very end, when you are deploying beacons for satellites for the Hammer of Dawn, one of them gets destroyed, and the Swarm version of Reyna comes out and attacks Kate, and then JD as well as Dell attack her with knives, and basically you have to choose to either save Dell or JD. Now there is different reactions to what happens, but of course I went with saving JD, which I will get to here in 1 second. And when we get to see Dell die, if you chose that and you see Dell die, you do not see anything other than his body go into the ground. So we don't know if he was buried. We don't know if he was buried under rubble, or the Swarm took his body, overtook his body. We don't know what happened. JD is immensely upset, pissed off, grieving. We got to see the same thing he had when Marcus lost Dom. So that was pretty much major revelation to the third game, and then we get to see Marcus different reactions, of course, about losing either JD, losing Dell, and then they have one final strike against the Swarm, and the Jack does return. You get to use upgrades in him, which I'll get to here in a second, and Jack blows up to destroy this worm and save Neophira, and at the very end of the game, you do get to see the survivors of the game, but we also get to know that Kate is like, okay, we're going after what's left of the Swarm. We're going after the Queen, because since they had a Queen, the Swarm was more smart, they were more organized, and that was the main reason why they wanted to kidnap Reyna, so that way they could have a Queen to instruct them on what to do, because beforehand they were acting like savages, they were doing whatever, but now since they have a Queen, they're acting more organized, they were acting more like a militia, they were acting more like a military, which is essentially what they wanted. And we also, through the gameplay was great. It was still the same. Graphics was amazing. Story, again, was absolutely great. I was wishing we could play a little bit more JD, though. Maybe with Marcus, that would have been cool, which they didn't get to do in the story. But this was more Kate's story, which I'm very happy that they got to put another character behind the point of view, so we could finally be able to go, okay, what is going on with Kate? What was her, because that was the main thing with Gears 4, guys. We were like, what is her connection to Queen Mare, other than, okay, that is her grandmother, so what happened? But that is the entire story of Gears 5, guys. Again, this was a good game. Everybody kind of, it went back and forth from what I've been hearing with reviews. Everything else has been great. I haven't played Horde mode yet. I haven't played multiplayer yet, which I will. I may upload some stuff for the channel. There's going to be, more than likely, there will be a Gear 6. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with Gear 6, because I was eagerly waiting for Gears 5. Gears 5 is, first off, Gears is one of my favorite video game series, period. They've done such an amazing job with making it go higher and higher and higher and higher, out of my personal opinion, and they've done such a great job with the characters, as well as the evolution of the old characters as well, paying homage to the previous games, cleaning up a lot of unanswered questions. I'm hoping we'll get to see some more unanswered questions in the next game, such as what really happened with Anya, what happened with Dell's body, or what happened with JD, if you know, choose whichever one, and also what else happened with Reina, why she became like that when we supposedly killed her. So, and I'm going to get into one other thing here in a second, which is the reason why I chose JD over Dell. And here's the main thing, guys. Marcus is literally either one of my favorite characters or my favorite character in Gears of War. And this man, he's lost so much. He's lost his father. He's lost his family. And he lost his brother. He lost Dom in the third one, which was the only thing to a brother that he had, which was part of the Santiago family. Then later on, he loses the woman he loved. And I'm sitting there going, okay, if he loses his son, he ain't gonna have no other reason but maybe want to put a bullet in his head. And that's something they could write into the next game. And honestly, I don't want to see that happen. I would love to see Marcus, Baird, and Cole live throughout this next war. I would love to see that. But I also got that weird feeling they're going to start writing off some characters in the very next game. Possibly if it's going to be the last end all to Gear 6. To not just JD, but to JD's Kate and everybody else, which I do not know if they're going to do that or not. But I just can't do that to that character. I mean, it's interesting to see what they're going to doing, because it's like, okay, will it continue off of what choice you made, or are they just going to go, oh, okay, well, they're just going to do this, oh, hey, guess what, Dell's alive, he just got severely injured, or whatever case so it is. But since they did that, because they pretty much pulled something that Gears has never done before. They gave you choices, which they've never done before, which was good, but it came with a cost at the same time. So we're going to have to wait and see what Coalition does and go from there, what they're going to do. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are about Gears 5 in the comments down below. It's been a while since I've done a game review, so I'm hoping you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new as always. Let me know what you guys enjoyed about Gears 5, what you guys enjoyed least about Gears 5. The thing I have to say about I least enjoyed about Gears 5 was the fact that you couldn't play as other characters. It showed you could, but I don't think you could to a certain degree. And also, very lack of more story, because they kept playing with riddles with Mira and Reina's past, which I would love to know more about. But those are my concerns. But guys, once again, let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. Hope you guys enjoyed once again, and I'll be seeing you guys on the very next video. Take care.